Welcome back to the channel. This week on the Kiwi Barefoot Gardener, we catch up with what's happening with the Kumara slips. I plant up another round of pumpkins, courgettes and melons, not forgetting the cucumbers as well. And I start on my greenhouse summer reset, getting it ready for the summer growing season to come. Come potter with me in the garden. My name is Dawn and I am the Kiwi Barefoot Gardener. Good morning. Well, it is Wednesday the 15th of October and the sun is out and it's meant to warm up to be quite a nice day, so I'm really looking forward to that. Now, just to address this a bit more, it's coming right. Thank you very much for all your lovely kind thoughts, etc. and messages. Really appreciate it. So it's taken a few days for the swelling to come down, but it is going down really quickly, a lot quicker than I thought it would. And the bruising, of course, is changing colour. And some of the worst of it is healing. But it's going to take a wee while to come right completely. Because I did fall flat on my face and hit this part of my head, I knocked myself out. I do have concussion. So I've just been trying to take it a wee bit easier over the last few days, which is really hard for me. I struggle anyway trying to get a balance, but yeah, it's just, and of course this time of year is so busy for gardeners. It's just been really hard to try and get that balance. But what I have been doing is just some stuff sitting at the dining table or here at my potting station in the garage. So I'm trying to be good. I haven't actually been out in the garden per se other than to pull a few carrots. One of the problems with my back issues and what have you is my balance is a bit stuffed and I tip a bit easier than I used to. And I've always carried my phone with me to call for help if I needed it. But unfortunately, when I came to the other day, I had damaged my glasses significantly and I was bleeding. So I couldn't actually focus on my phone to actually even get it to come on. So the family have come up with another idea, and I'm not sure how well it's going to work, but in the past, after back surgery, I've had literally a doorbell thing that I've been able to ding so that the family can come and help me because I wasn't able to get it out of bed at times. So we've adapted it slightly, and because I've got family at home most of the time because family work from home, which I'm incredibly lucky for that. We've adapted the old doorbell, which was, that was the mobile transmitter, and I found a wee bag and we've popped it in here and we're just working it out at the moment. But the thing about it is that I can just push it. I don't need to worry about focusing on anything. So I just got to remember to wear it because it's not the easiest. We've just popped it in an old lanyard that I had, and a little old bag that actually had a seed ball in it at one point. So yeah, we're just going to see how that works. So hopefully I'll be a little bit more assured that if I do tip, can get help, and we're going to look into doing something on the phone as well so that I can push it more easily. It's a fairly old phone, but yeah, we'll see what we can do. There are ones where if the phone falls and hits the ground, it alerts people and it alerts the 111 service, but I don't really want to go that full thing. I just need to sometimes get a bit of help. So anyway, and then to decide whether I need emergency services or not. So just be assured we are looking at better ideas to keep me safe in the garden, and so I feel safe in the garden. But today I'm going to hang out in the garage for part of the morning. It's only just 9 o'clock, but what I did do yesterday was something I've been meaning to do for a long time, so in some ways is around the Kumara slips. I've just pulled a whole lot of mint things out. The Kumara slips. So they haven't fared so well. They're looking a bit sad, but while they look sad, and the leaves are looking discoloured and there's a bit of dieback on some of the side shoots, there are actually shoots coming away in new leaf. So what I've done, because it's still a wee bit cold here in Canterbury, even with being coastal Canterbury, and the weather being incredibly good anyway, I just thought it was still a wee bit cold to put the Kumara slips out into the raised beds that I've got. I just used those black budding ones last year, and I got a okay crop because, I mean, the summer was shite anyway. So, yeah. So I thought, right, I'll just give them a wee bit of a boost and actually put them in some soil, which is what I did. So the idea is I'm going to pop them into the greenhouse so they'll get nice and warm during the day, small volume so the soil will warm up quicker, and just let them put out some new shoots and things like that. At night, yes, it's going to be cooler, but it's not really dropped down, except for last night was an odd one, below about 9 degrees at night in the greenhouse. So, and looking at the forecast for about the next 10 days, it looks like it's going to be 10 or above most of the time here at night. And the greenhouse is usually about 1, maybe 2 degrees warmer than the outside temperature. So I'm just going to give them that and see how I go. I've actually come away with about 24 slips, maybe a few more than that. So I will use the best and give away the rest and go from there. So yeah, I'm really chuffed with those. Surprised that they survived, but yeah, really happy about that. One of the other cuttings I did was the passion fruit vine, because I hacked it right back, and they haven't sprouted at all. They haven't died, but they haven't sprouted. But the passion fruit, after having its significant haircut, or radical haircut, and being moved, is actually starting to come away. So I'm feeling way less worried that it's not going to survive. And what I'll probably do is over summer take some cuttings and see if I can get them to sprout, because passion fruit vines only last about 4 to 5 years. So that one will be on its third summer. So yeah, I'd like to try and start propagating and perpetuating on a new vine and see how I go with that. So I'm just going to potter on around here now. Later today I'm hoping to get into the greenhouse just to start transferring out some of the stuff from there, because I want to start setting it up for my summer growing. I think I can be a bit brave and probably put my tomatoes and capsicums in the next week, because even though it's not even Labour Day, we are getting those warmer temperatures during the day reasonably consistently, and as I just said about the nighttime temperature in there, it seems to be around about that 10 degrees. So I'm going to risk it and I'm going to put them in, but I just need to set up in there and move out some of that shelving unit and get it ready for my summer growing season. But it'll all depend on how I feel, because one of the side effects of having concussion is fatigue, and it is something that I already have, is a chronic fatigue syndrome, but I normally can manage that really well most of the time, but just with this on top of it, it just, like yesterday afternoon I was just wiped out. So I'll just see how I go. I'm going to take it hour by hour, day by day, and see how I go. Good morning. Well, it's Friday the 17th and it is a reasonably fine day out there. The easterlies ripping through, so I am hiding in the garage at the moment. The weatherman promises it's going to turn to westerly later, so I'm hoping to be able to get down this side alley and do some work down there. Wednesday I'd hope to get a bit more done after doing my recording in the morning, but the concussion caught up with me and I ended up spending the rest of the day in bed trying to get rid of the headache, etc. And you know what concussion does to you. So yesterday was a better day and I did get quite a lot done, but I didn't feel up to recording any of it. So today I am going to take you around with me and get on with the day, really. It's looking going to be a reasonable weekend. Some parts of Canterbury are going to get their asses blown off, basically. Good old nor'wester, spring. It's always like that here. However, the spring's been reasonably warm with only the odd glitch. And I'm going to be brave and I'm going to start planting out my greenhouse. I've actually yesterday started moving out some of my mini capsicum plants and eggplants, etc., into the greenhouse from the house. These are the ones that I will use for myself, but some of them are for my projects as well. So yeah, I'm really pleased with the fact that so far, fingers crossed, spring is looking good, and I'm hoping, fingers crossed again and toes crossed, that summer will also be a good one, because I'm really looking forward to getting a decent crop of summer vegetables, just for a change, because last year was such a disappointment. However, saying all that, I got so far behind this week that I am now going to be chasing my tail for the next couple of weeks. So I need to get my beans in. And you know, for my beans this year, I usually do dwarf beans, only because I just don't have the facilities normally for climbing beans. But I'm going to try a couple of pots of climbing beans this year and have them up on the deck and see if I can get them through the winds here. You know, because the winds here can just be devastating to anything. I mean, my poor old broad beans are munted, and I've left them because they have actually put some beans on, even though they look like a disaster zone. So I'll get something off them, but not a lot. But yeah, so anything tall either has to be staked to the max or it just doesn't survive. The other things I'm trying to get in today is some corn, some beetroot, a whole myriad of things. And I need to get some more cucurbits on, so they're my pumpkins and things like that. I've already done one lot and I had a really patchy germination, even using the heating mats. So I'm going to do another whole tray of them, or maybe 2 trays, as I said, for project stuff as well. So yeah, I'll just have to see how things go with those. But yeah, that's the plan for this morning. So I need to rock on and get moving. I've got my coffee and we'll do a bit of speedy, but generally we'll see how the day pans out, really. I've set myself up for planting my cucurbits, and I did have some germination, so I've written myself a list out of what germinated and what didn't, so that, or what did germinate, so that I can plant some more but not overplant, because I've done that in the past without keeping an eye on what I've done. So I've sorted all out my seeds just here. Got my tray ready. Now, initially, I planted up a number of, excuse me for reaching, a number of these pots, they're the little thinner plastic ones, and popped my cucurbit seeds in there, thinking that they'd enjoy a bit of room. But that's where I really got my patchy germination. I'm just wondering if it was too much soil. Even though I used the thermostat heat pad and had it to what it said to have it, and the probe was in here, the thermostatic probe was in one of these, they just didn't seem to do well. So I've then planted another tray in between when I did these and now, and I used smaller ones. So these come with the seed raising trays. They have the dome on them that you can get from places like Bunnings, etc. Not that I'm giving a punt out for Bunnings, but that's just where I get them from because they're cheapest there, that's all. And these last quite well. I've got some that are a good 7, 8, 9 years old. They do eventually start like all plastic giving out, but the majority of them have done really well. So, but these came as an insert to these when I first got them. And I didn't really think that these were that great because you needed a lot of soil to start with. So for smaller seeds, it seems to be a bit of a waste. Plus, I like to generally have stuff that I can pick out and pot, move on without all being one tray, because seeds do germinate at different speeds, even the same seed. So, yeah. But the second lot of cucurbits I put in definitely did do better in these, and they were actually quite easy to just lift out and pot on and leave the rest back on the heating pad to go on. So that worked out quite well, and it had a good amount of soil because with cucurbits you can get away with the tiny little trays that I use, and I haven't got any handy to show you, but they do struggle, and you don't want to give your seed a tough start. So these just seem to be about right, a nice Goldilocks thing. Not too small, not too big, just right. Yeah, sorry. But anyway, so that's what I'm going to do. I've got the tray ready. I just need to do some labels, work out what I need, and then we'll pot up the cucurbits and put them on the heat pad for the day. And hopefully in the next 7 to 10 days I'll get some more. This year I'm planting 4 different types of pumpkins. So I've got a golden nugget heirloom and a small sugar pumpkin. So I wanted a couple of smaller pumpkins because sometimes it's just nice to be able to grab a pumpkin and not have days worth of pumpkins sitting in the fridge that you got to eat. My fave is the old Crown Prince, which or the grey type pumpkin. I've grown that forever and loved that taste and things like that. And the other one that I like but hubby really likes is the old butternut, so that's also what I'm doing. So I'm all ready. I've done all my labels and worked out basically a tray of pumpkins rather than mixing in other seeds, because I want to be able to control the germination as much as I can, though there's so many variables, but we'll do what we can. So I'm going to get these are now. The one thing I wanted to say is that when planting any of these bigger seeds, don't plant them flat. Plant them on their side edge, not their up edge. I was reading somewhere the other day, and I'm not sure how true it is, but that there is a little hole in things like pumpkin seeds and what have you, that if that gets clogged with dirt where you're pushing it in, that can reduce your germination. So if you put your seed on its side, edgewise, up, so like that, not like that, then it helps, because if it's laying flat, the water can pull on it, and if it takes too long to germinate, it will actually rot out. So yeah, hence why plant it on its edge that way, not that way, or that way. Gosh, it's like doing aerobics. Anyway, I'll get on with it. done. 1 tray of pumpkins. I'm going to take that inside now and pop it on the heated mat. And hopefully in, as I said, a week to 10 days, I will have more pumpkins. Right, so I have done a tray of courgettes, aka zucchini. Well, not all zucchini. So I have done the classic green one, which is Black Beauty. Then I have done one called Courgettes, I think it's pronounced, and that's a green stripy one, so 2 different tones of green, and I did that last year and it was really nice, so done that one. I've done a yellow courgette, yeah, as is. The other thing that I've done is I like doing the scallopini because they are a lot firmer, and they're just nicer in stir fries and things like that because they just don't fall apart. So recently I have just been able to do the yellow scallopini because I haven't been able to find the green seed for it. But this year I have found the patty, what they call a patty pan or patty green. And while they call it a courgette, it is actually a green patty pan. Aka scallopini. So I've got that this year. So that's good. Now just remember, seed saving for courgettes, cucumbers and all that sort of thing, just not worth it because sorry, car just went past. Because they are quite, for a better word, promiscuous, they cross, and you will not get a true plant next year. So I have in the past saved seed, and several years ago I saved the seed of what I thought, can't remember if it was a yellow courgette or a green patty pan, but what I got was a green amorphous blob that, yeah, just literally was a blob, and it tasted awful. It was bitter, it just wasn't nice. So yeah, learnt my lesson there. Don't save from anything, from your own garden. You may be able to save seeds from like the commercial ones because they grow fields and fields of them, so there's a lower risk of them cross-pollinating. But same like with pumpkins and things. Now they've got my tray of courgettes and patty pans, aka scallopinis. Going to take them inside and get them on the heated mats as well. Well, that took me a bit longer than I thought, so it's just on lunchtime, but I have got a tray of pumpkin seeds in, a tray of courgettes slash scallopinis in, and I've just done a small tray of cucumbers and a small tray, not quite complete because I put a couple of cucumbers in, but of melons. So what I've put in is I've got a cucumber, and it's Medici, but it's a Lebanese style one. So I've got them. Then I've got cucumber Louise, which is a telegraph type cucumber. Then I've got Market Mall, which is the bog standard type cucumber. Then I've got, sorry about the dog, one of the neighbourhood cats, not mine, has just gone and teased him. Space Master, which is a more compact growing cucumber. I've done it in the past, it's very good. Sort of squatty and what have you, but quite dense flesh, which is quite good. I like that. And then the patio snacker, which I will show you hopefully later. I've got the one that I did way back in July, August. It's currently soaking, and I'm actually going to try and plant it in the greenhouse today because it's really not happy in the pot it's in. It's really packed its head. So yeah, so that's my cucumbers I've done. And melon wise, I never have much luck with melons. I just don't get hot enough, but I tend to do okay with one called Hale's Best, which is a rock melon. Usually get a few off that, which is good. Then I've tried another rock melon called Western Express. Now I've heard that this is quite a good one because it's It's better in lower temps, so it doesn't have to have a super hot greenhouse, and it's a reasonably fast growing one, so you don't run out to the end of the season and still got no ripe fruit. And the other one I'm doing is a watermelon, and it's Sugar Baby, and it's not a big melon like, the big one. It's sort of like a little round one about big. And because it doesn't have to grow so huge, it doesn't require the same amount of days to get to the fruit. All these require a greenhouse, or maybe a conservatory or somewhere that's really hot during the day. So that's what I've got there. So I've just put them, I can't quite get 3 of those green trays on the 2 heated mats, so I can do 1 green tray per mat, and it doesn't quite fit one across both mats, unfortunately. So what I've found is I've had these wee white baskets, and these work quite well. So I can, I've cut one of those trays, those black trays, in half, and it fits fairly well. So I've got them in there, and these fit really well on the space I've got left at the end of those heated mats. So quite happy with that. So I'll pop those on the heated mats in a few moments, go and have a bit of lunch, stick my nose out and see if the wind's changed. If nothing else, I do have a wee bit of watering to do out the back, so get that done quickly. I've just got some stuff sitting up on the deck that just needs a drink. We did have rain the other day, so the boxes, the raised beds, they should be okay for another few days. But the pots on the deck, a lot of them are actually in under the eaves, so they need regular watering. So that's my plan for the next hour or two, and hopefully it will be nice enough later for us to go and look at the yams. If not, we'll go into the greenhouse for a bit and potter around there. So that's the plan. Well, it is now about 2, actually I think it's after 2 o'clock, between getting lunch, watering the back garden, well, the pots on the deck, and then I remembered I needed to go down and water the side alley, so I've done that, and I'll have to go back when the weather's improved, i.e. not howling easterly, and top up the spuds, because most of the pots come through, and definitely the 2 pots that I've already topped up need another top up, so that's good. Excellent. And I've been down and harvested some asparagus. I'm probably going to have to stop harvesting asparagus soon, because my season started really early, and it's probably almost at the end. I should have noted down when I started harvesting and done 12 weeks from there, but I forgot. So I might have to go back through my photos and have a look and see when I started. So yeah, next I've got to, at some stage this afternoon, water the shelving units with all my plants on and the greenhouse. But the easterly is still going, so I'm definitely not going down there to do any long-term work, because I had thought about tying up the raspberries, putting the yams in, and doing a few other things down there. But that easterly is still just a bit thin. It tends to go back through you once and then come back for another run. So what I thought we might do is just pop into the greenhouse and have a wee look there and see what's going on, because I am in the process of slowly resetting it for the season. So I tend to have quite a lot of shelves in there over the winter, and winter things over. I also have some things like capsicums and chilies and what have you that I try and winter over. This year's not worked. I've just had the family biff out the ones that I had tried. There's just nothing shooting. They're dead as doornails. But yeah, have a look at some of the other things that are going on, and look at putting in the cucumber that desperately needs to go into a bigger pot, and get a bit of TLC. Even though it has had plenty of everything inside, it's not happy in there. Some people are really good at inside plants, like, pot plants and things like that. Not me. I tend to kill 99.9% of indoor plants. But the only thing that I can grow inside without killing it is cyclamen. But everything else, I can't even grow a fern in the bathroom. So outside, no problem. Or if it's temporary inside for whatever reason, like, you know, growing stuff on like chilies and what have you early in the season, no problem. But ask me to look after a pot plant and I will kill it for you. Right, we'll head off into the greenhouse in a sec. Well, we're in the greenhouse and it's definitely nice in here. There's a breeze coming through. It's about 20 degrees in here, so it's very pleasant. And yeah, pretty happy with the greenhouse at the moment. I don't know about other people, but I would always like mine to be at least double the size, and I suppose if it was double the size, I probably wanted to even double that, because I could, yeah, grow heaps and heaps and heaps in my greenhouse. But space and finances always dictate what you get. But I would suggest to anyone, if you are contemplating buying a greenhouse of any sort, tunnel house, greenhouse, whatever, that you get a place that you can put it that will maximise what you want. So get the biggest you can afford in the space that you've got, basically, because I can tell you, you will fill it. It's easy to fill it. So we'll have a quick look around the greenhouse and what's going on in here, and then if the weather finally swings, they keep saying it's going to swing to the west, but it's still howling easterly. So yeah, let's have a look around. So first of all, far end is my passion fruit vine, and you can see that it has taken off, which is good, because I was a bit worried that the severe haircut I gave it had killed it. There is some dieback on it, and I'm in two minds whether to cut it back, the dieback bits yet. I was thinking I might leave it a wee bit longer and then just snip the bits that have died and then just re-tie it in. And it's just starting to put its tendrils out and things like that, so I'm going to start training it. So I'm quite pleased with that. Took a bit to trim it and move that planter and redo the net around it. I'm just going to have to be really diligent this year about training it, because I didn't last time and it got away, and of course it kept trying to head out the door. Okay, sorry, it's not the best of shots, but yeah, so I can see the camera. But I've got my racks here. These are the ones that have normally got the plastic covers over, but I've just got seedlings and things like that in them at the moment. And what you can't see, oh yes you can see, at the top I've got some eggplants and some capsicums and things like that, and I've got tomatoes just on the other side of that. These are seedlings. I'm going to put a whole lot more trays in here today if I get time to do it. When I pop my lettuce on, I often put them in here for a few days, just so that they get over the plant shock, transplant shock. So yeah, so I'm probably going to keep these two racks in here for a bit longer, but I have got another, I've already taken one out at the very end, and that's gone out, and I'll start putting in things here. Sorry, half not there because there's not enough room in the greenhouse for the camera and the chair and things. But anyway, this corner next to the door is where I'm going to pop my cucumber. So I'm going to go and get it in a minute. I should have had a well soak. I'll have to dig out some of that dirt. That pot had, what did that pot have in it? Oh, that was the parsley pot. I like the 13 litre pots. I think I might have explained last week, I tried the bigger pots last year and I just found I wasn't doing so well with my plants, and then I couldn't get the watering just right. So these are what is known as a shrub tub, and I find that they do quite well with tomatoes, eggplants, capsicums and everything like that. And I've even, cringe for some people, but I've even double planted sometimes with them and they've done fine. Yes, by the end of the season they're fairly root bound, but you know, that sort of early March and they're already giving up at that stage anyway because of the cooler temperatures. So I get a good run out of them as a rule. So I'll go and get the thing, I'll dig this out and we'll have a look at it once I've done it. Right, so I've dug a hole in that pot, ready for it. As you can see, It's not very happy. I don't know what the hell's going on with these leaves. Did have a couple of fruits on it, which I've taken off and using. But yeah, it's fairly wet at the moment, but that's only because I've had it soaking in a dilute seaweed mix to see if I could give it a bit of oomph. I mean, it's been fed regularly, but it's certainly not been happy. So let's get it out of this pot and into the other one and see what happens. It's quite happy there. I've taken off the weird looking leaves. It's doesn't really need a drink at the moment because it's been soaking. Hopefully it'll flower away. I might have to put a bigger support stand around it. I've got plenty of them, so that's not a biggie. Yeah. Fingers crossed it takes off again. If it doesn't, I've planted some new ones, so it's not the end of the world, but yeah. So I'm going to keep pottering around. It's about 3 o'clock. I can't really do much more in the greenhouse at the moment. So I'm going to go back into the garage because that wind hasn't changed yet. I can see it's probably thinking about it, but it's probably another hour or so away. And I'm going to go and do these beans that I was talking about this morning and get them into 6 cells. The reason I do my beans normally at this time of year into 6 cells and then transplant them is because of Mr. and Mrs. Mouse, field mouse. It's the same with my peas. So anything like that, I find that Mr. and Mrs. Field Mouse will get in there and help them. Later on, so like actually about another month to 6 weeks time, it's not a problem. I can plant direct and they don't seem to bother about it, but definitely mid-October at the moment, yeah, there's still potential for Mr. and Mrs. Field Mouse to go out and help themselves. So I'm going to go and plant my first set of beans and my climbing beans for the first time and get them started and then see how the rest of the day goes. But today's Friday, so it will be the end of the vlog, and we'll do the coffee and chat later. Well, it's that time again for a coffee and a chat. It's actually Sunday the 19th today. I'm just a wee bit behind in getting everything done this week. As you can imagine, things have been a bit slower than normal this week. First, I'd like to thank everyone for their lovely, kind wishes and getting better and things. I am getting better, as you can see. Things are starting to heal. Most of the swelling's down and I'm just going through the colours of the bruising changing. Hopefully by the end of next week everything will have sorted itself out and I'll start looking a bit normal and get my glasses sorted out. At the moment I'm using my old ones that were in the fall. My hubby's managed to polish out some of the scratches. They're still really bad actually, and the frame itself is quite damaged, but my spare glasses unfortunately also broke. They're really old glasses. But enough of me, back to what was going on in the garden this week. So we looked at the Kumara that I had potted up because it was looking very, very sad in its jars of seaweed water. I had another look at it yesterday and it's looking way happier, and a lot of what I could see earlier in the week, the little sprouts, have actually taken off. So that's really good. I'll give them a good 2 weeks, maybe even longer, because show weekend in Canterbury is mid-November and my plan is to get them in that weekend, because then in theory we should be into our fine weather. October's a really busy month for seed sowing, so I've got heaps and heaps in the last couple of days. I've still got heaps and heaps more to do. I want to start some of my direct sowing, some of my flowers, so like I normally direct sow poppies, and I'm going to have to be a lot more careful how many poppies I see sow this year, because I did get a bit carried away last year, and they did take over the garden. So I'm just going to do 2 or 3 small patches of them and see how that goes. My plan for next week is, once I've got the side alleys sorted, I need to do a big assault on the back garden. It's got away from me. Unfortunately, a lot of the winter spring vegetables have bolted because it's so warm, warm for them anyway. So I've got to clear all those. Didn't get them harvested in time. I would have been eating cabbage for 3 meals a day, or all the other stuff 3 meals a day. So I'm going to try and aim to clear those beds this week coming. The greenhouse reset, so yep, onto that, and getting things moved around in there. It's at that 50-50 stage. I still need the greenhouse for seed propagation and looking after some of the more tender plants as I graduate them out to the outdoors and harden them off. So I will get some stuff in probably this week. I'm aiming for it, just see how my time goes. And then as I managed to reduce down my seeds and my seedlings in there outside so that they harden off, I'll be able to get more and more in there. Now, this is the 22nd weekly vlog for me, so I'm looking at doing something on the 25th vlog. Not quite sure what yet. I've got a few ideas written down, but I'd like to do some sort of maybe small, and it will be small, competition with looking at maybe something to do with comments and subscribers, or new subscribers. So yeah, I'll fill that out a bit more, pad that out a bit more, and let you know more probably next week about what that's going to be like. I'd just like to thank all those who have subscribed to date. It's wonderful. Love to see your comments and your likes, etc. Please share this with your family and friends. It's nice to share knowledge around, and it's always good to learn things from you too in the comments. So I'd like to wish you a happy and safe week in the garden, and I hope that you get everything done that you're wanting to get done in this busy season. I hope you have a great week pottering in the garden. And from me, until next week's vlog, it's bye for now.